What are the best sources of plant-based proteins out there? And in this video, I'm going to be covering off on over 60 sources of plant-based proteins, 63 to be exact. And I'm going to rank them in order of lowest in protein to highest in different categories. Categories including plant-based meat substitutes, legumes and pulses, nuts and seeds, grains, breads and pastas, plant-based milks, nut butters, mushrooms, and powders and mix-ins. So let's jump right into common meat substitutes. Coming in at the 8th spot, we have tofu, and specifically firm tofu at about 7 to 8 grams per serving. As I'm going through all of these foods, if you see an asterisk by it, it is considered a complete protein source, meaning it contains all of the 9 essential amino acids. Next, extra firm tofu at 8 to 9 grams of protein per 3-ounce serving. Again, another complete protein source. At number 6, we have TVP. This is textured vegetable protein at about 13 grams per serving. Next, we have super firm tofu, 13 to 14 grams per 3-ounce serving. At the 4th spot, soy curls at about 14 grams per serving. Next, one of our personal favorites, tempeh, maybe some of you all's favorite out there, coming in at 18 grams, a whopping 18 grams per 3-ounce serving. Number 2, we have seitan, not Satan, seitan at around 21 grams of plant-based protein per serving. And then the 1 spot on our meat substitutes list, I have it as pea protein crumbles. I just want to clarify that for this specific amount, I was going off of this particular product. It could vary if there's another pea protein product out there, but that's just to give clarity behind that. Now, one more thing on this list that is actually not as high in protein is jackfruit, a very commonly used plant-based meat substitute. A lot of people use it, but unfortunately, it is not very high in protein, coming in at only about 3 grams of protein per 1 cup serving. So our next category are the legumes and the pulses. So coming in at the 13th spot, we have green peas or sweet peas at about 4 grams of protein per serving. Next in the 12th spot, we have black-eyed peas coming in at about 6 to 7 grams of protein per serving. Next, we have mung beans, also at about 6 to 7 grams of protein per serving. After that, there is fava beans at 6 to 7 grams of protein per serving. In the 9th spot, we have pinto beans at about 6 to 7 grams of protein per serving. In the 8th spot, chickpeas, aka garbanzo beans, also at about 6 to 7 grams of protein. In the 7th spot, lima beans, about 7 to 8 grams of protein per serving. In the 6th spot, navy beans, about 7 to 8 grams of protein. Cannellini beans, aka white kidney beans, about 7 to 8 grams of protein in those as well. In the 4th spot, we have our traditional red kidney beans, also at about 7 to 8 grams of protein. In the 3rd spot, our good old classic black beans, also at about 7 to 8 grams of protein per serving. And then in our 2 spot, lentils at around 7 to 9 grams of protein per serving. And then in the number 1 spot, edamame at 9 to 10 grams of protein per serving, and is also the only complete source of protein in this category. Next category, we have our nuts. Coming in at the 9th spot, macadamia nuts. Not very high in protein, only 2 grams per serving. In the 8th spot, pecans coming in at 4 grams of protein per serving. In the 7th spot, Brazil nuts, also about 4 grams of protein per serving. In the 6th spot, hazelnuts, about 4 grams of protein per serving. In the 5th spot, walnuts, also about 4 grams of protein per serving. In the 4th spot, we have cashews, 5 grams of protein per serving. In the 3rd spot, we have pistachios at about 6 grams of protein per serving. In the 2nd spot, almonds at 6 grams of protein per serving as well. And then in our 1 spot are peanuts at about 7 grams of protein per serving. Next category, we're going to go to our seeds. Coming in at our 5 spots, we have sunflower seeds at 3 grams of protein. In our 4th spot, we have flax seeds at about 4 grams of protein per serving. In our 3rd spot, we have good old chia seeds at about 4 to 5 grams of protein per serving, also a complete protein source. In our 2nd spot, we have pumpkin seeds, specifically pepitas, so about 4 to 5 grams of protein there. And then in our 1 spot, hemp seeds, also another complete source of protein at about 6 to 7 grams of protein per serving. So next we have our grains. Number 9, barley, coming in at only about 2 grams of protein per half cup serving. In the 8th spot, we have rice. That includes your white rice, brown rice, even your purple rice, about 2 to 3 grams of protein per serving. Number 7 spot, millet at about 3 grams of protein per serving. In the 6th spot, couscous. I know couscous is technically not a grain. It is technically a pasta. I have it on the grains list for the sake of this guide. It does come in at about 3 grams of protein per serving. In the 5th spot, we have wild rice. Wild rice actually is a bit higher in protein than the other rices that were mentioned earlier. Wild rice comes in at about 3 to 4 grams of protein per serving. Next, coming in the 4th spot, quinoa. Quinoa is also known as a complete source of protein. It contains about 4 grams of protein per serving. In the 3rd spot are rolled oats, or just your old-fashioned oats or oatmeal. This is for a half cup of uncooked rolled oats. That comes in at about 5 to 6 grams of protein per half cup. Coming in the 2nd spot, our other complete protein source on this list is buckwheat, coming in at about 5 to 6 grams of protein per serving. And then in our 1 spot, we have farro. Tell old farro, let my people go, at about 5 to 7 grams of plant-based protein. Now let's jump into our breads and pastas. If you all are getting any value out of this, let me know in the comments below. At the 5 spot, we have our typical whole grain bread, coming in at about 4 to 5 grams of protein per slice. Coming in the 4th spot, we have your sprouted grain bread at about 5 grams of protein. Many of these are also complete sources of protein, given that they do combine grains as well as legumes. In the 3rd spot, we have your typical white pasta at about 7 grams of protein per 1 cup cooked. In our 2 spot, we now have whole grain pasta at about 8 grams of protein per 1 cup cooked. And then in our number 1 spot, a very unique one that I did want to include on here, and that's chickpea pasta, coming in at the highest of the pastas at about 11 to 12 grams of plant-based protein. Next, we're gonna go with our nut butters and spreads. In our 5 spot, we have, which is really the only just regular spread on here, is hummus. Only about 2 grams of protein per serving. In the 4th spot, to start with our nut butters, we have cashew butter at about 5 to 6 grams of protein per serving. And our 3 spot, tahini, in essence, sesame seed butter, 6 to 7 grams of protein per serving. In the 2 spot, we have almond butter at about 7 grams of protein per serving. And then in our 1 spot, good old classic peanut butter, 7 to 8 grams of protein per serving. Next, we have our plant-based milks. In our 2 spot, we have soy milk, also the only complete protein source, at about 7 to 8 grams per serving. And then in the 1 spot is pea milk at about 8 grams of protein per serving. Really, Ripple is the main brand of pea milk that I was able to find in my research. That's what this amount is based on. Just wanted to clarify. Next, we have mushrooms. In the 4th spot, we do have our shiitake mushrooms, only about 1 to 2 grams of protein per 1 cup. In the 3 spot, we do have our mighty lion's mane mushrooms, known for a lot of nutritional benefits, but unfortunately not a super high source of protein. In the 3 spot, we have your classic portobello mushrooms or your cremini mushrooms, about 2 grams of protein per serving. And then in our 1 spot, oyster mushrooms, so whether that's your blue oysters, your Italian oysters, pink oysters, coming in about 3 grams of protein per serving. And so last but not least, I want to cover a couple powders on this list, commonly used as toppings or mix-ins for different foods or different snacks. And the first one is spirulina. 2 grams and 1 teaspoon means that it is a very highly concentrated source of protein. Not to mention, it is also a complete protein source. And then coming in our 1 spot is nutritional yeast. Very dense source of protein, anywhere from about 5 to 8 grams per 2 tablespoons. And also a complete protein source, might I add. I want to let you all know of a free plant-based protein guide that we have available. All of the different foods that I'm covering in this video, they're all in this guide. The guide also has a built-in calculator that allows you to put in your body weight, and it will spit out the protein target targets that you should aim for. You can find the link to this guide in the description below. It's there right now. So now, how much protein should you be consuming on a daily basis in order to help maintain strength and muscle mass, or even to build strength and muscle mass if you're someone who is exercising or training? So if you are an adult, your recommended protein intake per day, again, this is